Hey guys, so as promised, this is a video on what a typical day has looked like for me over the past 5 months or so, eating a mostly raw food diet that includes some cooked foods. So here we go. So here we have breakfast. This is just a fruit smoothie, a banana smoothie. So this is pretty typical for me, just having either just fruit or a fruit smoothie or a green smoothie for breakfast. And this is what I ate before I started incorporating cooked food. So this is just a banana smoothie, as I said, with 4 small bananas and some walnut milk that I made myself. You can check out my nut milk video for that, with a little bit of cinnamon and vanilla extract and water, and that's it. And it's really, really good, and it's quite a bit, as you can see. And so that's my breakfast. Hey little buddy, you having breakfast too? Oh, I hope it was delicious. Okay, so now it's time for lunch. To start with, usually I have some fruit. So here I have a couple, actually it's like 3 peaches, I think. Like small, medium-sized peaches. And then I move on to a salad. And here is some romaine lettuce and beans. You can see some pinto beans in there. So typically I'll have usually romaine, usually like 1 to 2 heads of romaine. This is about 1 large head. And then 1 cup of beans, so anything from pinto beans to lentils to really anything, chickpeas. I really like chickpeas. And then I also have a nut-based dressing. So often it's just nuts blended with water, basically. And but here I have a really tasty hemp ranch seed dressing that is from the Raw Project. And I'll put a link for that in the description. And it's super tasty. It's lots of dill and parsley, and it's really, really, really good. So that's what I have going on right here. And then there's a little bit of black pepper, some herbamare. Here's a giant container of herbamare. Basically, it's just sea salt with herbs. And so 1/4 of a teaspoon is 360 milligrams of sodium versus 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, which is like 500 something. So it's a little lower in sodium, but it's really, really tasty. It adds a lot of flavor. So I have just 1/4 of a teaspoon in this. Again, just 360 milligrams of sodium. Oh, some nutritional yeast, which I used to hate actually. And I've really come to like it after I just kind of I tried it in this salad and I was like, oh, I really like that. So I typically have that in there as well. And that's it for lunch. Oh, and I forgot to add that the beans have been cooked. I like to sprout them first and then cook them. So these aren't canned beans. I will use canned beans occasionally if I forget to sprout or don't feel like cooking or something. But for the most part, I just take dry beans and sprout them and then cook them. More fruit. So this is my delicious peaches. This is my afternoon meal in between lunch and dinner. And this is pretty much always fruit, like 99.999% of the time fruit. And usually it's just 1 fruit. I rarely ever do I do like a smoothie or anything like that. Usually it's just 1 fruit, whatever was in season or whatever was on sale. And so of course peaches are in season right now. So we have a whole bunch of peaches here. Okay, so now we have dinner. Sometimes I start with fruit, but today I'm just having a bowl of some beans, a cup of beans, a cup of rice, brown rice, and a bunch of steamed kale, like several ounces of steamed kale. So you can see that. I also have some more herbamare, 1/4 of a teaspoon of that, a little bit of black pepper, and what else did I put in here? Some cumin and a little bit of mild chili powder, ancho chili powder. So that's really good. And like I said, sometimes I'll have fruit before. Most of the time I don't have rice or anything. Usually I just have beans and greens basically. But today I'm having rice with it as well. And so before, this is when I would have my giant salad, if you've seen from past videos, where it's a bunch of greens and some kind of nut-based dressing and cucumber, carrot, things like that. So finally we have a late night snack of, you guessed it, more fruit. In this case, more peaches. So as you can see, my diet is still very, very high in fresh fruits and vegetables. It's still very high in fruit. I have fruit for every meal. I usually have fruit, including for like my snack. It's also very simple still and comprised of whole foods. So I'm not eating like, Triscuits and cereal or anything like that. It's just like complex carbs like beans that are cooked and prepared very, very simply. It's still very, very high in volume, lots of water, lots of fiber. The calorie ratio is pretty similar to what it was before. It's just the carbs are a little less and the protein is a little higher. Now, the reason I've chosen to focus more on beans as opposed to like grains and potatoes, they are more nutrient dense than grains, than cereal grains and other starches are. But as I said in my other video on eating cooked foods, I've had some issues with smelly gas, and that's very likely just from the beans. So I will definitely be playing around with that and possibly cutting back on the beans and including more foods like potatoes and sweet potatoes in my diet. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'd love to hear from you what you eat on your diet, whether it's all raw or mostly raw or no raw, if that's even possible. I guess it is if you just live on processed foods. That's unfortunate. But anyway, please share your comments below and I will have a new video very soon, so stay tuned.